We're going to take a look at the Eye of the Nine Warband for Nightvault. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Battlecast. In today's episode we're going to be taking a look at the Eye of the Nine Warband for Nightvault. I'd call them a controversial warband, I honestly would. And I'm going to just take a look at some of the cards that are good and, the play style and, what I think about them. Kind of ad-lib, but yeah, let's get into it. So the Eye of the Nine are a 4-person warband, but they have the addition of the blue horror / brimstone horror, which can be summoned by Vortimus. So the summoning mechanic is very cool, and the brimstone and blue horror are, saving graces of this warband. So we'll just really quickly go through the leader cards. Vortimus, probably should have rolled 3 spell dice. I mean, you'll find out when we go through these cards. These guys are looking to cast some spells, and the fact that they are the same as every other wizard, it's kind of sad. Especially because they're like, oh, Vortimus, he's so vulnerable, keep him safe, keep him at range. And it's like, he has the same range spell attack we see in, from the Cursebreaker Stormsire. He has way less defense than, a lot of other leaders. He does get the 2 dodge when he's inspired, but it's just like, I don't know. Vortimus's inspired mechanic is attack action with range of 3. Basically, it's saying that the Bolt of Change is how he inspires. He has to successfully cast it. It might not happen. I don't know. He just rolled 2 dice. He could get unlucky, and yeah. His melee, his melee defense is not, or his melee attack's not great. So Vortimus is fine. Next you have Kacharik, and he's kind of the meat of this warband. Now Kacharik inspires when he is adjacent to Vortimus, who successfully casts a spell. So in that regard, you get 1, you get 2. He's sort of meant to defend and deter people from coming to Vortimus. He's got good stats, he's like Sake, but he can move a bit farther, and also he has a shield as a defense. He can also re-roll attack dice when he's inspired. So this guy, he knows how to throw down, but by golly, he's weak, doesn't have a lot of health, and he's kind of the guy. This is the guy who's going to do the damage. We have Narvia and Turash, who almost bar none have the worst inspire mechanic in the game. Successfully attacking from range of 3, 2 dice. You're rolling 2 dice, 2 swords to try and get this attack off. We've all rolled 3 swords and failed. So 2, and just for 1 damage, and oh my goodness. And the thing that's crazy about these 2 is that when they're inspired, they're really not that much better. Narvia gets a cleave on her ranged attack, which does 1 damage, so I don't know, why bother? Turash has an extra dice for his melee attack, which is still rolling swords doing 2. So I don't know, Riptooth would just kick the shit out of these guys. Really, if you're gonna have those 2 be so weak, definitely Vortimus should have been a little stronger, or Kacharik could have an extra health or something. But now we move on to the next fighter, or whatever, the summon, the blue horror and the brimstone horror. And these cards are really interesting. You summon the blue horror, and when it dies, you flip it over and place in the brimstone horror. What's really cool with the blue horror is that you remove all tokens from it. When you flip it over, it's as if it has died and been reborn. So you can charge in the blue horror, attack, have it die, brimstone comes in, attack or charge or whatever the case may be. Now the blue horror can't have attack action upgrades, which is a little bit of a bummer, but it can have things like great strength, whatever. So it moves 3 dodge, 3 hammer. It does the same amount of damage basically as your other 2 weaklings in this group. The brimstone horror, however, has a reaction. After the first time this friendly fighter makes an attack action in this phase, make another attack action with this fighter, and that has to do with the fact that there's 2 brimstone horrors. So after the brimstone horror is defeated, it flips over to the blue horror, it's taken out of action. It does keep any upgrades it has on it, And of course, Vortimus can summon it again, and now it's a new fighter, and its tokens are gone. So he can kind of keep summoning this guy, and, you know, if you got great strength, incredible strength on it, it could do some damage, especially with the Brimstone Horror side, where it's attacking twice. So pretty cool, and there's some upgrade cards that help. So we're going to go through some of the cards that these Eye of the Nine have, which are pretty cool. Agents of Change. Score this in the end phase. This is a objective card. Score this in the end phase if your Warband successfully casts 4 or more spells in the preceding action phase. So for 2 glory, I mean, this is okay. Casting spells is kind of what these guys are about. There are some easy spells now to cast between the Echoes of Glory and the Zarbags and Eye of the Nine expansions. There's some easy ones out there. But the thing is, you have to have 4 Gambit spells in your hand to cast, or at least spell attack actions. And again, like, they're the only warband who has this thing. I just wish Vortimus had 3 spell dice, really. Bind the City, score this in an end phase if you hold 3 or more objectives. This is obviously another supremacy, so these guys are kind of looking like they're going to hold objectives and blow people up who come into them. Harness Knowledge. Score this if you've held, this is the same as the Sepulchral Guard and the Steelheart Champions, who, if you hold the objective for 2 rounds in a row, you score this. 1 glory. Master of Magic, a little more manageable. 2 spells. You can score a glory. Score it immediately, which is really nice. Rising Inferno, score this if you've caused 4 or more damage with spells in the preceding action phase. They do have a couple, cause damage spells, especially in clusters. This is particularly good with, it's like Sorcerer's Pact or something that comes with the Echoes of Glory, where if you take a damage, all your spells do an extra damage, which is really nice. We have the Summoner card. Score this immediately the second or subsequent time you use Vortimus action to summon a blue horror. So it's not even like in this phase, it's just throughout the battle. That's an easy one to score. For the Gambit spell or Gambit cards, we have the Blessing of Snitch. Oh god, that's hard to pronounce. Innate, you get Lightning, which is great. We have Bound by Fate. Choose 2 friendly fighters that are within 3 hexes of each other, switch their position. For me, this is like you charge in with your Kacharik, you smash someone, and then you switch them with one of your shitty fighters, or the blue horror, and put them to safety. So I like that a lot. A Deceitful Step. This is such a cool card. Such a cool card. Choose a friendly fighter that is not adjacent to an enemy fighter. Roll a magic dice. It's too bad it says roll a magic dice. I wish it was based on your wizard level. On the roll of a lightning, place them on any starting hex. If you fail, otherwise place them on any objective token. Yeah, so on a lightning, you put them on any starting hex. On anything else, you place them on an objective token. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. We've seen a card like this for the neutral cards that come with this, where, I think it's a ploy, and you can just put someone on any objective hex. So this is a really cool card. And most interestingly, it doesn't count as a move or an action or anything like that. Malicious Flames is a really cool ability because, unlike Bone Shrapnel, which sounds like it would do this, Malicious Flames actually damages all adjacent fighters. And I think that's really, that's good. That makes this card worth doing as compared to just the 1 damage to 1 fighter you would do normally with this type of card. We have Ravenous Flame, which is a scatter from a lethal hex, and it can do a damage to anyone in the chain. It's like Chain Lightning, but from a lethal hex. And given Vortimus's playstyle, this is actually better, because Chain Lightning comes from Stormsire, whereas this comes from a lethal hex, so, Vortimus can be way safe in the back. And this will really help him score Rising Inferno, where he has to do 4 or more damage. We have a card, Racking Change. And basically you roll 2 dice, and if you roll any criticals, it does extra damage. So 1 damage and 1 additional damage for each critical. So on a triple critical, you could do 3 damage with this thing, which would be amazing. And there's only 2 upgrades I thought that were very good for these guys. Empowered Sorcery, +1 damage to all spell attack actions. So that's his Bolt of Change. And he has a Sorceress Adept upgrade that gives him an innate Lightning Bolt. So between the Blessing of Snitch, which is for the first spell, and the Empowered Sorcery, which is very similar to Stormsire. There you go. So that's the cards for these guys that are cool. I think that there is a play style here for them, a defensive, objective holding play style. I think a lot of the play style is going to revolve around upgrading Narvia and Turash to just go in and get destroyed. upgrading them with shade glass daggers, shade glass hammers. I mean, you really don't care. They've got 2 health. Like, you just don't care if they die at all. I wouldn't care at all. A controversial warband in that they just seem really underwhelming. I really think they should have given Vortimus 3 spell dice. I really do. Yeah. Anyway, there you go. I would pick these guys up for their upgrades, their universal upgrades, which I've talked about in another video. I love making underdogs work, so I probably will try and make these guys work. But man, they just seem like... they seem so much of the same... they just don't seem unique enough. So anyway, that's my thoughts on the Eyes of the Nine. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. New videos come out every Friday or Saturday. If you enjoyed this video, consider giving it a like or even subscribing to the channel, or you can leave me a comment in the section below. Until next video, I'll see you then. Thanks.